you listening to?
Oh, I don't have anything to play right now.
Right. All right, so we're here at Berkmar, and we're going to talk about some goal setting with my friend Jacoby. Hi, Jacoby. I'm trying to get us both in the video. Let's see. I think it's like mirror image, so maybe I have to come over this way. There we go. That looks good. All right. So do you remember what we talked about the last time I was here?
Yeah, basically goal setting. Somewhere.
It is something that relates to goal setting. How about time management?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Time management. What do you remember about it?
I was coming up with different like strategies that we could have when dealing with time management.
Have you put any of that into play?
Yes.
What? Tell me.
Whenever I have to go to work, I always have a time. I always have like a time schedule. Basically, from getting home to getting to work and stuff.
Where do you work?
I work at Walmart in College Hill.
Nice. So I get to go to Walmart and maybe get a 10% discount.
Ooh,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, definitely, I don't know about that.
Employees only, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, cool. So you have put some time management skills into making sure you get to work on time, get home on time, do your daily duties. Cool. Cool beans. So today we're going to talk about setting some goals and how we, you and I, everyone has a goal, how we are going to achieve those goals. So the moment you put a deadline on your dream, it becomes a goal. Tell me something you plan on doing. Anything. It could be anything. It could be something today at the end of the day. It could be something at the end of the school year. It can be something in 3 years. Tell me anything.
Actually, be fluent in Japanese, in a foreign language, basically.
In any foreign language, and you choose Japanese. Cool. That's really good. So let me think of a goal that I want to share. My goal is to get more people to come to career readiness. So how have you started getting that goal? Actually, first tell me why you choose that goal.
Because what I want to do for college is I want to study abroad, like be a teacher in a different country, basically.
Nice.
And one of the countries I want to pick was Japan. So I want to be like an English teacher, basically.
Very cool. Why Japan?
Because I just like the atmosphere of the area. So
yeah.
Look first.
Yeah, I've never been, but I've heard it's nice. I know some people that have been. So, why should we set the goal? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me one thing on here that helps us figure out why we should set some goals.
Mainly the organization and planning.
Organization and planning. So how does planning our goals help us? How do you think?
Basically the communication skills and acting like for help, maybe, and how you would do it, basically.
Yeah.
And basically self-awareness is like know your limits, basically.
Right.
Know if you're gonna do it or not, basically.
You're right. Know your limits. Know whether or not you're setting yourself up for success or failure. Right. I remember one time I used to manage a portrait studio, and it was my very first management job ever. And one of my goals was to increase the sales of the portraits that we took. And I remember my district manager, it's kind of like I was the principal of the store and the superintendent was the one that would come. Yeah, so the superintendent would come and visit me once a month. and we would talk about the goals that we have to set. My second month in, my sales were not good. Again, my first time managing anything. And it was a portrait studio. And it was sales. So my sales were not so good. So she would always say, and I got this from her, she would always say, we're going to set you up for success, not failure. So instead of taking my sales from $10 to $100,000, we're going to go from $10 to $1,000. See, the gap isn't so big. And so I'm not so overwhelmed. So how would you feel you would set yourself up for failure in terms of your goal for learning Japanese?
Basically, if I'm not doing it daily, because I'm actually setting myself up for failure right now because I haven't touched it.
Oh, geez. Come on, Jacoby. Yes. You've already started with the setting yourself up for failure.
Because I've been doing everything else but that.
And are you taking Japanese here in the school? You're just doing it on your own?
Doing it on my own.
That's awesome.
Because the only language they have is Spanish and French.
Okay. So you know how you're setting yourself up for failure. Now you know what you have to do to set yourself up for success. So what are you going to do? Just one thing. This is also part of time management and planning, and it all goes together.
Probably find a time in my day to actually make space for that. It's like a class, but not in school.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So you are going to manage your time, right?
Yeah.
And find a space in your day when you can add Japanese learning to your schedule.
Yeah.
All right. My goal was, is to increase attendance at career readiness at Berkmar. And I am setting myself up for failure by not communicating in a timely manner. So I sent you all the email yesterday. The class was today. I'm going to start setting myself up for success by sending you all the email a week prior. Hopefully they will see it in time. And I'm also going to start sending passes to the school, to my school contact. And that way, all she has to do is distribute them to the students, and hopefully they show up. So that's one extra step, or two extra steps. Rather than sending my email the day before, I'm going to send it the week before, and I'm going to send passes to the school so that we can hopefully increase our attendance.
Yeah,
right?
I feel it needs to work.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We'll see next week if we have a better group or a bigger group. All right. So let's watch a video on setting our goals.
Because I think the reason why it worked last time.
Yeah. So they had passes last week. They had an email last week. We'll see. We will see. All right, let's watch this video. Let me make sure we can, I'm gonna pause this and make sure I can hear.
Today we're going to talk about goal setting for students using 4 key steps. We all have goals that we want to achieve as students. Maybe it's to get straight A's, or maybe to get into a certain university after high school, or a high-paying job after college, or maybe your goal is just to pass your classes. Let me know what some of your goals are in the comments below and in the community tab. Now let's get into it. Step 1 is to select a goal. This is the easy step. For example, you may have a goal to get at least a 3.5 GPA in all your courses this semester. Great goal. Step 2 is to define your motivation. Why do you want your goal? Maybe you want a 3.5 GPA to be eligible for sports. Maybe it's to get into a decent college. Or maybe it's just to keep your parents happy. Whatever it is, the motivation is what will drive you to accomplish the goal, especially if you get discouraged. Think of it as your reward for accomplishing the goal. Step 3 is to break the goal down. So you want at least a 3.5 GPA. How are you going to do it? By setting smaller goals that build up to the larger goal. This could be things like take notes in every class, study for at least an hour every day, no late assignments, attend every class, etc. I can't overemphasize the importance of this step. Accomplishing goals is a lot like eating an elephant. And how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, of course. So breaking your goal down into bite-sized chunks helps you understand what you need to do to reach your goal and gives you the roadmap to get there. Step 4 is to write it down. If you really want to accomplish a goal, it needs to be top of mind. So you need to see it regularly, probably every day. So write down the goal, the motivation, and some of the main sub-goals and post it in a prominent place. This could be in your room, your car, your bathroom, or better yet, all three. I have my goals for my YouTube channel posted on the wall right in front of my desk where I work on my videos. I see it all the time and I'm constantly reminded of what I want, why I want it, and what I need to do to get it. If one of your goals is related to doing well in your classes, consider subscribing and checking out my other videos. I look forward to reading your goals in the comments.
Right. I heard you say, what?
He actually got him on his wall.
He does. He does. He sees it every day. So let's start here. What is one thing you have done or learned in Japanese, or have you?
So basically, all of them were split into 3. So basically, you got hiragana, katakana, and then you have kanji. Basically, I'm taking the time to learn the hiragana first because that's usually the first one that you got to learn before you start going to everything else.
Okay.
So I already wrote down the alphabet, and now it's just making the words together and how are they supposed to be placed in sentences.
Okay. So if you know the alphabet, writing down the alphabet and putting it on your wall like he did is a reminder. I have to move further. I have to keep going. I'm going to remind myself. Actually, I should have taken a picture, but I will send you a picture of my wall in my office, and it has all it has all these tasks and things that I have to do and goals that I'm trying to get to, and I'm going to add to that goal Berkmar. It's just going to say Berkmar. My goal is to get Berkmar's attendance up, and so I will look at it every day, and that will remind me every day that I have to work and think and be creative on how I can get the attendance up. So that's my goal. So he said, accomplishing your goals is a lot like eating an elephant. And he explained that. And what do you think that means?
Basically, you can't take on the goal. Like, you have a big goal. You just can't take it like all by itself and things don't get it like that. There's steps to doing it. Like, basically, you can't just jump off a stairwell. You have to take steps to actually get up to it. So
right, and you kind of explained that how that pertains to learning Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So you have to learn hiragana.
Hiragana. Katakana.
Then we have to learn katakana, and then we have to learn kanji. And so those are your elephant. Those are the pieces of your elephant, right? So you're gonna break your elephant apart and eat it one by one.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you understand that. Now, the SMART goals, he explained, is how we help break our goals apart and how we get to the end result. What does each letter in the word SMART stand for when it comes to goals?
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and smart.
Specific. So our specific goal, let's stick with yours, is to learn Japanese, right? Measurable. What does it mean by measurable?
Basically what it says right there is how you will meet the goal, basically. And
so what are we going to do? How are we going to meet that goal?
I actually putting it on my wall because I really don't put anything on my wall.
Yeah, that's a good one. So you can start with something as you can put the very first step of your goal, which is the hiragana. Hiragana. I'll figure it out. You can put the alphabet on your wall, and then right next to it, English teacher, right?
Yeah.
Because that's your ultimate goal. So step one, achieve. And so every time you look at the first part of your goal, it'll remind you, I have to keep moving. I have to add something under that one, right? So I have to add the next step and the next step and the next step. And you'll keep going and you'll keep going and you'll keep going. And eventually that whole wall, you're going to move it to Japan because that's where you will be, right? So achievable. What steps are you going to take? Tell me.
Basically, whenever I have free time or I'm not really doing anything of importance, I could use that time to learn Japanese and stuff.
Okay. What specifically are you going to do to learn Japanese?
Have a specific alarm that goes off whenever, so I can actually put that time to what I want to do.
Yep. And have you gotten any books or videos or
I have
any apps or anything?
Everything.
You have it all already. Okay, so all you have to do is just do it, right? All right. What about your goal makes it important to you? We discussed this, so remind us, what makes learning Japanese important?
Because if I'm gonna study there, you also gotta learn. You also gotta know the language, their language too, to get around stuff. Basically.
Yep. So you want to actually study abroad. You want to teach English in Japan. And in order to do that, you have to be able to communicate with the locals, right? Yep. That's awesome.
That's like basically coming to America, you gotta know English.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You're right. All right. When do you want to complete this goal? So when are we going to take the wall where our wall has hiragana? I said it right. Hiragana. And it has English teacher in Japan, right? How long is it going to take to go from hiragana to English teacher? What is our time frame? Be realistic. We're seniors. We're seniors in high school. We want to go to college. How long does it take to be in college? Typically about 4 years, right? And then let's say we get an entry-level position as a teacher teaching English. We still have to do our student teaching. So give us a time frame from hiragana to English teacher in Japan.
I'll basically take I'll say a couple months because that's one part of it.
Learning one part of it is going to take a couple months. Okay, so we're going to start small, right? So we're going to break it down. What is the word I'm looking for? Being proficient in the hiragana part. And then moving on to the katakana. So it's going to take a few months for us to be proficient in hiragana. Then another few months for us to be proficient in
kanji.
Kanji. All right. So about how long is it going to take for us to be proficient in the language of Japanese?
Yeah.
How long do you think?
But as a whole?
As a whole.
Probably 3 years.
About 3 years to be 100% proficient. So where?
Or even when I get there, it'll probably be more because you're actually learning the actual stuff right in front of them. Yeah.
Correct. So I was going to get to that. When we're learning a language, we're learning the technical terms, right? We're not actually engaging in conversation with anyone. We don't know the slang of the locals. Once we get there, everything changes. We know the technicalities. We can speak the language. We can defend ourselves, I guess is the better word. And then we have to learn the dialect. We have to learn the slang. We have to learn what to say, what not to say. The body language, because with language is not just what you speak. Language is how you think, how you feel, your culture, your body. It's all together. So there's a lot to learn. And you're right, I have to learn the language. And then once I get there, it's a whole nother ball game, right?
Yeah.
So we took the rest of senior year to learn the technicalities of the Japanese language, right? Then we're going to transition into college. Before I study abroad, I will be in college for about how long?
Well,
before we study abroad. So when you're studying abroad, you're still in college. So before you graduate, before you even get to Japan to do a semester abroad, let's say we're in college for about two years. Okay, 2 years. So now we've got a year and a half before we have completed our goal. I took the rest of senior year to learn Japanese. I took 2 years in college. Now I'm abroad. Another 2 years, I graduate, right? So that's about 4.5 years. Let's round it up to 5. So we have a 5-year plan, right? So we have mapped out our SMART goals. Specifically, we are going to, tell me, what am I going to do? What exactly will you do? We are learning Japanese. Measurable. How will you meet your goal? I'm going
to take the time. Pick like a time of the day to do it.
Yep, I'm going to pick a specific time of day to set aside to learn Japanese. What steps are you going to take to reach your goal? I have apps. I have books and videos, websites, things that I'm going to do. Why is it relevant? Because I want to be
a teacher, English teacher.
I want to be an English teacher in Japan. And when is it going to be completed? How long will it take? About 5 years. Awesome. So you understand. Yay. Okay. We don't need to write it all down. We just kind of talked it out. So thank you. Thank you, Jacoby. All right. I am going to stop recording now.